Hi everyone, Steve here. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to tell you about three truths most professionals eventually discover when it comes down to corporate loyalty. Let me start with a brutal question. How many of you were told this growing up? Work very hard, be loyal to your company, stay committed, and the company will take care of you. For decades, that was the unwritten agreement. You gave loyalty, the company gave security. But here's the brutal truth: that agreement no longer exists. And the sooner you understand that, the better your career will be. Because if you're still playing by the old rules, you're putting your future at risk. Today, I want to talk about something quite uncomfortable: the brutal truth about corporate loyalty. Not from theory, but from personal experience. Before we go any further, let me ask you something. If your company had to cut 20% of the workforce tomorrow, do you believe loyalty would protect you? Because I've seen what actually happens inside those meetings, and it might surprise you how decisions are really made. I've spent more than 30 years in the corporate world. I've worked with large organizations, startups, global companies. I built teams, I led transformations, I delivered results. And like many professionals, I believed in loyalty. I believed that if you gave your best to a company, the company would stand by you. But after seeing layoffs, restructures, leadership changes, and entire departments disappear overnight, I started to see a reality. If you have time, take a moment to watch my video where I speak about my own personal experience being laid off twice consecutively. So, this isn't about blaming companies, this is about understanding how the system actually works. Because if you misunderstand the system, you will make the wrong career decisions. So, let's talk about truths most professionals eventually discover. And often they do that the hard way. Number one is the loyalty myth. For decades, loyalty was part of the corporate culture. Stay long enough, deliver results, and your career will progress. But modern corporations don't actually operate that way, not anymore. Most large companies today are driven by a few forces: shareholder expectations, quarterly results, cost optimization, market competition, which means decisions are made based on numbers, not loyalty. A company can value you, respect you, they even, may like you. But if the business needs change, those factors won't protect your role. Entire departments get removed, budgets disappear, strategies change, and suddenly the company that praised you 6 months ago no longer needs your position. This happens every day. You know that, I know that. Not because companies are evil, but because companies are not families. They are economic machines, and machines optimize for efficiency, not loyalty. Number two, loyalty is often one sided. Here's the truth many professionals eventually discover: employees feel loyalty, companies feel responsibility, but that responsibility is conditional. It depends on budgets, it depends on strategy, leadership changes, and market conditions. Think about how often you hear this phrase during layoffs: "Oh, this was not an easy decision." Of course it wasn't, but it still happened. People who worked for 10, 15, sometimes 20 years are suddenly leaving the building, and they leave the building with just a cardboard box. And it's not personal, it's structural. Companies operate at scale, which means decisions are made at a level far above individual relationships. So the lesson here is not to stop caring about your work. The lesson is to stop believing loyalty alone will protect your career, because loyalty without leverage is fragile. Let me tell you something most employees never see. I've sat in leadership meetings where layoffs were discussed, and the conversation never starts with names, it starts with numbers. Number three, the hidden risk of corporate loyalty. Another danger that many professionals overlook. When you're extremely loyal to a company, something subtle happens. Your identity becomes tied to the organization. Your network becomes internal. Your reputation becomes internal as well. Your opportunities become internal. And slowly, without realizing it, your career becomes dependent on one system, one company, and one leadership structure, and even one budget, which means if that system changes, your career becomes vulnerable overnight. This is why layoffs often feel so shocking. People aren't just losing a job, they're losing the professional ecosystem that they relied on. And rebuilding that ecosystem takes time. This is one of the biggest risks professionals over 40 face because the longer you stay in one environment, the harder it becomes to reposition yourself quickly. Number four, the professional alternative. So, if blind loyalty is dangerous, what should professionals do instead? The answer is simple, but many people resist it. As I mentioned on previous videos, you need to think like a professional operator, not a corporate dependent. That means three things. First, always maintain professional independence. Your reputation should exist outside your company, not just inside it. Second, build external visibility, whether that's industry relationships, speaking, writing, contributing on LinkedIn, or even a YouTube channel. Your expertise should be visible beyond your employer. And third, always be building leverage, skills, networks, knowledge, opportunities, because leverage gives you options, and options give you security. Ironically, the professionals who think this way, they often perform better inside their companies because they operate with clarity, they understand the system, and they make smarter career decisions. Now, let me be very clear about something. This video is not saying you should stop being committed to your work. Commitment matters, professionalism matters, delivering results matters, but there is a difference between commitment and blind loyalty. Commitment means doing your job with excellence. Blind loyalty means assuming the system will protect you. And those are not the same thing. Companies will respect you more when you operate as a strong professional, not when you depend on them for security. The reality most professionals eventually learn is that at some point in your career, you will likely experience one of these moments. You will experience a restructuring, you will experience a leadership change, a strategy pivot, a layoff. And when that happens, the illusion of corporate loyalty disappears very, very quickly. You suddenly realize something very important. Your career was never owned by the company, it was always yours. The question is whether you were managing it proactively or leaving it in someone else's hands. Now, here's the opportunity that's hidden in this truth. Once you accept the truth about corporate loyalty, something powerful happens. You stop playing defense and you start playing strategy. You invest in your skills. You build your network. You think long term. You create optionality. And optionality is one of the most valuable assets in a modern career because the world is changing very fast. Industries change, technologies change. Take a look what's happening nowadays with AI. Companies change, but professionals who build leverage can adapt and they can adapt quickly. And that makes all the difference. Here's the irony of all this. The professionals who stop relying on corporate loyalty often become the most valuable employees because they operate differently. They build that leverage. So if there is one idea I want you to take away from this video, it's this one. Your company may value you, your colleagues may respect you, your leaders may appreciate you, but your career security cannot depend on just the corporate loyalty. It must depend on your leverage. As I mentioned, your skills, your visibility, your independence as a professional. Because the professionals who understand this early, they don't panic when change happens. They adapt instead. They reposition. They move forward. And in today's world, that ability might be the most important career skill of all. Let me know in the comments if you feel your company is loyal to you in the same way you're loyal to them. I'm looking forward to catch you on the next video. Thank you for watching.